Oh, we are live.
Oh, we are live. Whoa, watch it.
Well, we are live. Florida State has won. Brendan, 10-point win over UNC. Who didn't see that coming?
Just like we called it. Just like we called it, Joshua.
Let's go. Florida State wins 35-25. Really, Florida State got behind a little bit early on, right? It wasn't the perfect start, especially on defense. A couple guys got loose in the secondary. Florida State's offense had a couple of, 2 or 3 3-and-outs early on, and they overcame that. By halftime, FSU was running away with this thing, Brendan.
It was a very weird flow early in the game, but really what FSU needed. So, yeah, UNC starts with a 10-play, 41-yard drive to get a field goal early on. FSU goes 3-and-out. They have -5 yards on the first drive, so not a great opening drive. But then Florida State goes ahead, puts down 3 touchdown drives in a row, including one right before halftime, 53 seconds left to take the lead. And meanwhile, the defense held UNC to a 3-and-out. And they get an interception before half, or they get an interception on the series before the final series before half. And then obviously they hold UNC scoreless when they're kind of hanging around midfield there, going into halftime. So FSU enters halftime with the lead, Josh, and then just kind of salts the game away. UNC with some really weird clock control at the end of the game and make a ton of sense to me. But credit to FSU. Jordan Travis plays a hell of a game.
Credit to Florida State. I don't think there was anything UNC could really do. All game, UNC's only success came on a few I won't call them fluke plays because I'm sure UNC was trying to dial up the deep ball on Florida State secondary. But come on, that was a great defensive performance. We saw some guys step up. Jerry Jones with a huge timely interception that maybe changes the direction of the game. Comes back with another nice one-on-one deflection late there as UNC was trying to keep it close. What a game. Florida State gets their first road win of the season, and they're really starting to look like a formidable team out there on the football field. I think that's the best thing we can point to.
They go into the bye week. There's a bunch of things we can delve into here, Josh, but they go into the bye week winning 2 in a row, 2 close games. But to go on the road, you're 18 to 17 point underdog. You win by 10. You control the game pretty much throughout its entirety after the first couple drives. I dare say, dude, would you say dominant? It was pretty damn close to a dominant performance in terms of doing what you want to do identity-wise on offense and then defense playing well situationally. It was close to dominant.
Yeah, it was very close to dominant. Florida State was really leaning on them, I felt like, especially coming off of that rough start into the second quarter. You really started seeing the offensive line fire off the football and almost dominate a little bit, dare I say. They really did what they wanted to do. And Florida State gets the victory.
Oh, dude, I got a clip of some sod being pulled out. Who's the sod captain? Let's see. Sorry, a caress the knee got it's Jordan Travis, of course.
Is the field really made of sod?
They're pulling something out. So I'm gonna bolt this real quick, Joshua.
We can do it. What do you need? You need to get that up right now?
I want to get this up right now.
You don't think it's going to play in a couple hours or tomorrow?
I think the retweets on it right now would be crazy. But we can. You go ahead. I'll be with you. But you run point here and take questions.
All right.
And I'll be your emotional.
What do you guys, Brendan? We're done with you.
Wait, hang on, real quick. I think we need to before I go somewhere else absentmindedly. Woo!
I think we just saw some nipples.
2-0 with the tank top.
Yeah, tanking for the tank.
Let's go.
I didn't know you were wearing it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't stopped wearing it since they beat Syracuse, dude.
Yeah, I did not make it to UNC this weekend. Should I tell the story on this podcast or the next?
No, dude, now this is instant. We're having fun. We're going to be talking to fans. I just may have shown them my boobs a little bit. So
yeah, we had a nip slip on the pod.
We had a nip slip on the pod. We're going to get canceled.
So, yeah, I was supposed to be in Chapel Hill. We talked about it. I said it on Big Man, Big Heart this week that I was excited to get up to Chapel Hill. Well, I got on my Southwest flight. We boarded on time. Everything looked like it was going to happen. And we sat on the tarmac for almost 4 hours. And then they canceled the flight at 4:30 p.m. I was supposed to land in Raleigh, yesterday at 2:20 p.m. We still hadn't taken off by 5 p.m. and just wasn't in the cards for me, I guess. I'm bummed. Yeah, I was supposed to be up there. Thank you guys. I'm upset too, but at least I got to hang out. Put it this way. If I was up in Chapel Hill right now, I'd be way too drunk to be doing this instant reaction podcast with you guys. All right.
I'd be doing it live by myself, and I don't think that's what anyone wants in this moment.
I got a question. Well, first, let's shout out Coach Dillingham, man. He really dialed one up today. Offense looked great. Play calls were being executed. Let's be honest. I don't know if these play calls were much different than in the first half of the season, but at least the players are executing them. And it looks like the offense has way more confidence in it, especially Jordan Travis back there. When he knows when it's time to tuck and run the ball. Yeah. A lot of people telling you to keep your shirt on. Whew. Best complete game since Jimbo left. What do you think?
Ooh.
What about last year's UNC game?
No, so let's look at it comparing it to last year's UNC game, because Josh, I think so. Last year was kind of fluky in the sense that you had the block punt, you had a couple special teams play in the first half. You had the Joshua Kango pick six. There was a lot of, I don't want to say luck, but when it's clustered together, it is kind of lucky. Like you could have 2 or 3 turnovers in the course of a game. It's not a huge deal necessarily, but when it's all like in one half or one quarter of football, then it makes a difference. And FSU was holding on. This one, not so much, man. This was a far more complete game than last year. I'm trying to think back, like the most complete game they've had. Maybe some of the 2018 stuff with Willie late or in the first half of the year. I'm trying to think back. I don't think so. If anyone listening can think of the most complete game since
Jordan Travis clip that you just put up there. So he is cutting the plastic grass off the field.
Yeah, FSU. I'll probably have to foil it. FSU gets, when that's happened in the past, they get billed for tearing up the sod. Yeah.
Well, we'll see if we can plant it and make it grow.
People in the comments, like, what's the most complete game? Is this it since the Jimbo era? This has to be it, right? NC State in 19 key takers. So that was right before the bye. FSU, I think, had 2 wins in a row and was feeling kind of good after the slow start to the season, was kind of redeeming themselves, and they kind of fell apart in the back half of the season. And that was the end of the Willie Taggart era. I think that's the good call, Keith. Wow. Dude, I mean, Jordan Travis, let's get into what he did today. So running the football, 14 carries, 121 yards. Do you have
the stat sheet? Can you link me the stat sheet just so I can take a look at it? Or do you want to talk to the people a little bit more and then start the pod and do all this?
Yeah, we'll talk to the people. Let's do this.
Let's talk to the people for about another 5 or 10 minutes, and then you and I will start the pod. Okay. And we'll get into more of that stuff. Let's talk to the people though right now.
Oh yes, we take the podcast and give it back to you, the people.
I think Mike Norvell took a lot more chances in his athleisure suit today. I've never seen somebody tuck a dry fit 2-button polo into sweatpants before. But I love the look, and I think it made him a more confident play caller. What do you think?
Ooh, I think, well, I don't know what the impact.
Nobody does athleisure like Mike Norvell.
You promised us in the group thread that you're going to have to wear this on Monday's podcast, a similar look if they won, and they won. So
yeah, I couldn't tell though if do you think those were nylon pants, or do you think those were like cotton?
They look comfy. I'm not gonna lie, they look kind of like breakaway male stripper pants a little bit. I'm not sure if there was buttons on the side, but they look like Magic Mike 3.0 is coming to Tallahassee soon.
I would have had, I really think he could pull it off if those are just like cotton sweatpants tucked into a two-button polo. That's a wild outfit.
This person here, I don't know their name because it's in another language. Brendan Urbane sounds like Sean Connery. It does. But they're, kind of Scottish-y sounding.
Athleisure Mike. I thought it was a good look.
Dude, I may wear that. All right. I'm gonna put it out there now. Clemson
I don't think
is
you got to be in your 40s to tuck a dry fit polo into sweatpants. You got to be in your 40s.
My father-in-law loves, I mean, just tucking anything. I think once you hit a certain age, dude, like my father-in-law loves tucking his t-shirt into jeans. And I think that's just an older
Oh,
gentleman.
you mean like a
look.
t-shirt like this? Like
Yes.
any kind of t-shirt.
And I mean, basically, if he has a shirt, it's being tucked. And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
T-shirt.
Oh yeah. I think there's a solid group of people that their day doesn't start until they tuck their shirt in. I'm not one of those people.
No, I'm not. I'm out here with nip slips. No, what I was gonna say. So FSU has a bye week, and then they have UMass, and then they have at Clemson. I believe is how the next couple of weeks shake out. If I'm mistaken, if I'm forgetting anything.
Why was Sabbath Joseph wearing a UNC? Why was he wearing?
Hey, I'm gonna make a promise here. I will wear the Magic Mike look if FSU wins out ahead of Halloween. That'll be my Halloween uni.
I don't think anybody's asking for that, but okay. See, you tuck it in all your life. There's just a group of the population that has to tuck it in to succeed. I get it. Mike had a real tight tuck too. Like, does your uncle tuck? Does he do a real tight tuck?
It wasn't my uncle. I like it. You just went with an old person, my father-in-law. But no, it's a tight tuck. It is. There's a belt. It's in tight, kind of old manish jeans. It's a medium t-shirt. Yeah, damn, they love the tank top. I'm all about it. Oh, look at this. Wake and Syracuse is in overtime. I'm just going through these comments too fast. I'm very jittery and excited right now. I can't believe they won. I can't believe it. We collectively, as a website, all had FSU losing, but I would very happily sacrifice that 0-3 across the board, Josh, for us to be able to cover a win going into a bye week.
What a game.
A convincing non-fluky win too. Like, you didn't hold on, and it didn't have the kind of the stank that Syracuse win had, where you're like, yeah, we won, but like, there's not a whole lot of buts. I mean, there's going to be things that we can pick apart on Monday's pod, Josh. I'm sure we will, but right now, I mean, to be a 17-point underdog and to win by 10 on the road, and for it to never be really in doubt in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
The goal line stand. The goal line stand was big time too. That's 2 weeks in a row we got a goal. Man, there's so many good moments from this game.
Hold on. Somebody said that they gained too much weight to tuck in. I thought a large population tucks in to kind of like hide it, but I guess it kind of accentuates the gut too a little bit.
It depends on the t-shirt or the shirt that you have. No, I think, I mean, that's why I wear the tank tops are so loose fitting. They kind of hide the football weight. So they hide the football season weight. Now looser hides it. Tighter emphasizes it, accentuates.
Yeah, we didn't have confidence in this game because we didn't know Mike Norvell was going to be wearing an athleisure suit on the sideline. If you would have told me ahead of time that he was tucking his 2-button polo into his sweatpants, I would have definitely taken FSU. All right, you want to start the pod? We've been going live for like 13 minutes now.
Yeah, let's start it. Are we recording it with the live broadcast? Like, are they going to keep watching it? And we just edit it? Okay, and you're just going to edit
I'm going to edit from when I start the pod to, let me see if I can pull this up here. All right. Give me a second and we'll count it down. What do the people want us to pod about?
I mean, probably the UNC win. I would imagine as part of it. People, let us know real quick, like 3 topics you want us to touch on for the instant reaction podcast. And we'll go over the stats, we'll go over the goal line stand. This is really where Chris dominates, but let's see.
All right, here we go. I'm ready. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to On the Bench. I'm Josh Newberg, and I've got Brendan Sonnone here with me. It's just you and I for this instant reaction podcast as Florida State upsets North Carolina 35-25. Brendan, what is up?
Hello. This is a pleasant surprise, Joshua. I don't think any of us, you, myself, Chris Nee, who's covering the game live, or covering the press conference, I guess now live, we're expecting FSU to win by double digits in Chapel Hill. But here we are. Here we are.
Just an unbelievable win by Florida State behind a career day by Jordan Travis. The dual threat quarterback put all his tools on display in a career best 5-touchdown effort. Jordan Travis was 11 of 13 for 145 yards. He added a career high 121 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on 14 carries. Jordan Travis looked like he was in control today, Brendan.
It was. I mean, there's going to be so much to kind of diagnose and pick apart with what Jordan Travis did well, and we'll get into it here. And I'm really looking forward to rewatching the game and then doing the pod on Monday, Josh. But I think the thing that stands out most to me is the way Jordan carried himself, not just during plays, but afterwards too. He was smiling constantly. This is a guy who, I guess, I'll put the cat out of the bag now. He did not practice much on Tuesday. He was limited on Wednesday. He was someone who they had to kind of rest that was not 100% still. That really needs this bye week coming up. But man, whatever he had going through his veins and the adrenaline going on Saturday, he looked great. He was really sharp as a runner. The change of direction stuff was there. But then the passing game, and really credit to FSU's coaching staff for putting him in good position to get some one-on-ones and some nice screen plays, but to hit these chunk plays downfield. Keyshawn Helton, Ontario Wilson both come up big vertically. He is 11 of 13 for 145 yards, 3 touchdowns, not an interception. So that's an 85% completion percentage. Passer rating whopping 254.5. I mean, yeah, the deep game. The deep game is great for them. In addition to the run game, and then what that does for Trayshawn Ward and Jayshawn Corbin. This was the game plan. I feel like that was kind of coming. This is a couple weeks in the making. We saw a little bit of Syracuse with them understanding like what they had to do to run the ball and then have the extension of the run game with the perimeter screen. They didn't do the perimeter screen game a ton today, I think, because UNC was going a lot more man and kind of forcing them to keep things inside. FSU answers the call, takes the vertical shots, and Jordan Travis, rightfully the sod captain for this upset win.
Oof. And a couple guys besides Jordan Travis that I thought stood out. Malik McClain, the freshman wide receiver, catches his first touchdown pass as a Seminole. That was in the first quarter. I think that was the first score of the game for FSU.
And the first score of his career.
Shout out to Jerry Jones. I've been a little bit critical of him in the first half of the season, but he had a huge interception that might have tilted the game back in FSU's favor. Florida State had about equal touches. I'm just looking through the stats right now. Trayshawn Ward had 12 rushes for 77 yards, and Jayshawn Corbin 13 touches for 52 yards. A lot more balance there, Brendan. We've been asking for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they went with the hot hand. Trayshawn Ward was running a little bit better than Jayshawn Corbin, and Jayshawn Corbin, I think, got a little dinged up with the ankle in the second half. He continued to play, but Trayshawn Ward was running the ball well. So that helps. Yeah, I'm trying to look at like where the difference. I mean, UNC runs 14 more plays. FSU's won with yards per play 7.1 to 6.4. Excuse me. Here's the big difference. UNC penalized 12 times for 110 yards. FSU 5 times for 50 yards. So that's another game where FSU's low on the penalties.
And I feel like they had a bunch kind of early on. I mean, not a bunch, but like I know they had a false start. Dylan Gibbons got hit with a penalty early on. So not a pretty mistake-free second half.
Yeah, two. There were 2 on the first 2 drives for sure, and also the one that Robert Cooper jumping offsides on that 4th and 1 that keeps the drive going on UNC's second drive. So at least 3 early on there, and then 2 the rest of the game outside of the first 2 drives on both sides of the ball. So yeah, clean game for FSU. But really, let's get into the second quarter, man. I think that's where this game that's where this game opens up for FSU. They outscore UNC 21-20 in the second quarter. And that's where you see both offense and defense kind of meld together and play off of each other, which is something that we've been clamoring for, right? A complete game, both teams playing well simultaneously. FSU to open up the second quarter on defense and this is coming off of a touchdown drive. FSU forces a 3-and-out, just 1 yard for UNC on that drive. They get the ball back to the offense, and FSU goes and scores 3 plays, 65 yards. Was that the Pokey Wilson touchdown with the Jumpman? I think that was the second score of the game.
Late in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yes. No, sorry, that was the Jordan Travis 53-yard run. That was the second one, and then FSU goes, holds them, and then they cap off with the 32-yard pass to Pokey the second quarter, and that was coming off of the Jerry Jones interception. So that's what happened there, if memory serves correctly. So you see the defense forcing a 3-and-out. You see Jerry Jones coming up with an interception, and then the offense sprinkles that in with hitting chunk plays. And that really, man, that's kind of where you open up the game in the second half. Then you're able to dictate terms of the game, which is huge.
I mean, they just got it done. 35-25, Florida State over UNC. It wasn't spectacular. I mean, Jordan Travis's performance was spectacular, but I'm just looking at some of the receiving yards now. Keyshawn Helton led the team with 3 catches for 71 yards. Ontario Wilson, 2 catches for 38, but 2 touchdowns there. Malik McClain had the 1 catch for 5 yards and a touchdown. Cam McDonald, 2 catches, 20 yards. So nobody really shining outside of Jordan Travis's numbers, which were just ridiculous. Do you think that Jordan Travis, I felt like for the first time, Florida State really had a command over the balance of the offense. For the first time, they were able to turn those screens and dink and dunk plays into big shots down the field later on in the game. Whereas it just hasn't really clicked like it did today. You feel that?
Yes. I mean, I felt like it was coming against what was it, Louisville in that game, and that was with Mackenzie Milton, and they were limited with what they can do, but you at least saw some semblance of like the RPO game, and then like understanding we have to get Trayshawn Ward and Jayshawn Corbin more involved. Then Jordan Travis gets healthier and he gets inserted into the mix against Syracuse. Syracuse has a good defense, but kind of an unorthodox 3-3-5 stack zone heavy defense. So it's kind of a weird defense that you're attacking. But last week for them to score 33, I felt like I kept trying to like tell the fan base like 33 points for their personnel, as dinged up as their offensive line was impressive. And I felt like we started to kind of see, Josh, like what they could do on offense with Jordan Travis. I mean, let me look at the numbers here. But I mean, for Jordan Travis, Trayshawn Ward, Jayshawn Corbin had to be a steady dose of the offense here. Jordan has 14 rushing attempts, Trayshawn 12, Jayshawn 13. If Chris was here, he could do that math in his head, but that's out of 54 plays. I mean, that's huge. And you also have Trayshawn Ward getting a couple receptions as well. Jayshawn having one. So they understood, they started to figure out their identity. I think the big difference though today, Josh, one, Jordan hits on all of his passes. That was big last week. He missed some, especially when Syracuse went to man-to-man. That was one. Number two, the offensive line, for the first time since the season opener, they went into a game with their projected starting 5, with the 5 that they thought that they could run with this season. Now they lose DLT, but you have Maurice Smith, and you're able to put Bavion Johnson in at right guard. Out of the offensive line with Jordan Travis as a runner, creating matchups and extra, basically you get an extra blocker with Jordan Travis as a runner. That is the difference I think that you saw was with this offense clicking and being explosive. I mean, 35 points in 2 quarters.
I think there was a third key to this victory, Brendan.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, Mike Norvell wearing a polo tucked into sweatpants. That was wild. I think he went out on the edge with that, and it put FSU over the top. I mean, how can you not play for a coach that wears an athleisure suit to the game?
Mike Norvell's had some interesting wardrobe decisions. There was really baggy clothes against Jacksonville State that the fan base did not love. Which game was he wearing a hat?
Well, no, this was awesome. I mean, to tuck a 2-button polo into sweatpants, it's visionary, Brendan. But Florida State comes away with a 35-25 victory. We're talking about it right now. Chris Nee is currently in the Mike Norvell presser. He's not going to make it to this instant reaction podcast, but we'll get with him on Monday. We're also going to talk some recruiting on Monday. I know you guys saw the big Travion Williams news today on Noles 24/7 about him reopening his recruitment without saying the word decommitment. Sam McCall might be looking around, but as we speak, Zach Blostein of Noles 24/7 is talking to recruits, and there will be a story up tonight with Recruit Reaction. I don't know exactly who he's talking to, but he is working the phones right now. Whew. Brandon, any final thoughts?
I mean, the defense, to hold UNC to 25 when UNC's averaging about, I think, 36 points a game going into it was huge. You keep Sam Howell to basically 53% completion percentage. He beats you with his legs somewhat, but you don't let the rest of the running backs really get going, so you keep them contained. The goal line stand that they had, so you get the one Jarian Jones interception in the red zone in the second quarter, and then the goal line stand, was that in the third quarter or fourth? It was early fourth quarter. Yeah. It was early fourth quarter. Regardless, it's late in the game.
Can we give Fuller his props at this point?
I mean, he definitely buys himself. I think he gets off the fan base, putting him on the hot seat. He definitely gets off there.
I didn't even bring my hot board today. I didn't
Good,
bring my
yeah.
hot board to the the Instant Reaction podcast.
This is a celebratory podcast. FSU has an upset win as a major underdog and does so in what doesn't feel like a fluky fashion, man. So yeah, like no, FSU was depleted with its secondary, right? They had multiple injuries. They're depleted up front and limited with what they can do. They're out 2 defensive tackles. So you have all these things you have to kind of work around, and you play good situational football. You force Sam Howell to beat you deep, which was one of the keys that we have. Like, they love to throw the ball deep. You don't get killed by it. You make a play on it downfield, and then you play well situationally. Like, yeah, man. I mean, hats off, credit due. Like, FSU's defense played well, and I thought the scheme was pretty sound given the limitations you're going to have personnel wise entering the game. Oh, and a kickoff return of 41 yards, which, hey, that'll get you going, right?
Yeah. Here, Zach Blostein is reporting that 5-star DB commit Travis Hunter went on IG Live with Jarvis Brownlee for the post-game locker room celebration. So for those keeping score at home, at least we know Travis Hunter was watching the game. And if Travis Hunter was watching the game, that's all that matters right now. So enjoy this victory. We will be back on Monday to talk about the rewatch, to talk about recruiting, to talk about FSU on a 2-win game streak, and to talk about everything else. Thank you for listening to this On the Bench Instant Reaction podcast.
Do you want me to end the You want me to end the broadcast, or do you want to keep talking to people?
Did anybody say anything interesting?
I mean, people are asking questions. I don't know. You guys say anything interesting? Who's monitoring the questions?
Yeah, hit like on this video. We only got 25. Hit like, hit share, subscribe, get this thing popping. We need you guys to follow this and blow this page up. We're trying to do a little something with this YouTube. We love coming on here with you guys and celebrating, because who does Florida State have next week?
Bye week. Bye
week.
Then UMass, which ends I think a 16-game losing streak. They just won. They beat UConn in the Battle of the Beatons. So both these teams coming into the game with a little bit of juice, a little bit of momentum. Josh,
this is the FSU revenge tour. Sam Howell down 1 week, and then we'll have Walt Bell down next week.
Dude, they're 1 win away from being 3-4, 2 away from being 500. Bowl game still exists.
Still top 10 recruiting class. I mean, it's not all bad here in Tallahassee.
Holding on
For dear life.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate it. Josh, go clip this, get this up. I'm gonna get a Sod Talk video up, or Sod Chop, whatever. Bye. Goodbye.
Got it.
Bye.